Good morning, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. I just wanted to do the video I promised and show you guys how I apply adhesive to my dentures now that I am 6 months out. So let me try and figure out how I can do this with this phone. Alright. So, as you can see, my dentures have already been cleaned and they're dry. And this is what I use. And this is what I found works best. And I've experimented with a few different kinds. I've got Fix-A-Dent Free. I don't know if the label is backwards because I'm using the front-facing camera, but it's Fix-A-Dent Free. It's free of all colors and flavors. And I also use Polygrip Powder. Both of these you can find at the dollar store, Walmart, you can find it online. They're just the combination that I find works best because by the time it sets, it kind of turns into like a rubbery consistency. So what I do is I put a drop here on the side, do it again on the other side, one up front, and then a little bit up top. So you'll have 4 dots total on the upper. And what I do with the lower is I just squeeze kind of a thin-ish line all the way along the inside there. You see how that, yeah. So then I'll put the Fix-A-Dent away, and I'll take a Q-tip, and I will spread all of this adhesive all over the inside of the denture because I want it to be like a layer instead of strips or dots because it'll work better with the powder that way. So you'll see you don't want to get any too close to the back edge because it'll seep out and then you'll have denture glue coming out and it can choke you and make you feel really uncomfortable, so it's no fun at all. I noticed that the spot where you want the most of it is right at the top at the suction spot on your palate for your denture plate. That way you create a real good sticky seal up there. So this is looking pretty much done. So you see how it's all spread pretty close to evenly all throughout that top denture there. That's how you want it to look. And I'll do the same thing with the lower denture. You want to spread the adhesive all over the inside of the palate. And this you want to try and make sure you spread it super thin and super evenly because when adhesive leaks out of your lower denture, it does not feel good, it's not fun, and it takes forever to dissolve on its own. I found that if you do have a problem with using too much adhesive, drinking any kind of soda and holding it in your mouth for a couple of minutes will help it dissolve, it, I can talk, faster because of the carbonation. You want to avoid drinking anything too hot, like super hot coffee, in the first hour after putting your dentures in with this kind of technique, because the heat will go ahead and kind of like, it'll kind of turn the adhesive back into a cream instead of the rubberized finish that it is when it's all done. So again, you can barely see it on the camera, but the adhesive has been spread all over the inside of the denture. And then you can go ahead and throw your Q-tip away. Now this is an important step. You want to run the water on your faucet ever so slightly, just so it's a small stream. And you want to wet the dentures. You want to make sure that it's cold water. You don't want to use hot water on your dentures because it can warp them. You want to make sure they're nice and wet. It's not going to like stick because obviously it's like a cream, it's like a gel. but it needs to be enough that the powder is going to stick to the denture. Alright, so once your top plate's all wet, you take your poly grip powder and you want to spray it. Now this is a pretty wasteful technique, but I, from personal experience over the last few months, found that this is the best technique to keeping my dentures in. So the powder is all spread all over the top palette, and now it's time for the bottom. You want to make sure that you get the powder all over all the spots where you have the Fix-A-Dent adhesive, because if you don't, it won't rubberize the way you want it to. Now that I'm done doing that, now you want to shake off the excess powder, but you can kind of tap it around to make sure that it spreads evenly throughout the denture. And now you want to tap off the excess powder. So by the end, your denture will look like this. It's coated in 2 different kinds of adhesive, and same thing with your lower. Now all that powder adhesive that you just dumped out, that's just going straight in the trash. There's no way you can save that, unfortunately. Let me see. So now you can fold up your paper towel that you used to shake off all that excess, put it away, and now I'll get down here so you guys can see me. Alright, I always start by putting my lower denture in first, so and then I put the top in. And then I bite, and I make sure that my midline is even. And then you want to hold it there for a minute. I don't know why it's making me sound like I have a lisp. But I found that using this technique, I can get maximum 48 hours out of my upper, and my lower will last anywhere from 12 to 24 hours depending on what I eat and whether or not I drink a lot of soda, because that will dissolve it. But this technique I've been using for a few months now, and like I said, so far it seems to be the best. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'm going to go get ready for Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everyone.